How to create a dramatic triangle effect in Photoshop. I'm using Photoshop CC220. You can use 219, etc. The only difference will be the gradient tool, how the gradient presets are done. So View menu and New Guide Layout. Go with rows and columns 2 and 2. So you can find the center. That's all I'm doing this for. So I know exactly that crosshairs where the center is. Then go over to the gradient tool, then click on the gradient in the top left, and then select the basic gradient, and that will be in your version of Photoshop as well. All you need to do, whoops, I don't want that, is basically 2 stops. The black stop and the white stop. So if you haven't got that gradient, you can quickly create it simply by creating a gradient with the black stop there positioned at 50 and the white stop positioned at 50. 50 and 50, exactly the same. Once you've done that, what you can then do, click OK. Don't need any more. You could, of course, save it as well. That's another good thing. Save that preset. Create a layer, so layer and new layer. I always like creating things on layers. So new layer there. Go from side to side or the edge to edge at any position around it. Just and repeat that over and over again. But always go for that central point. That's the guide, that cross wire. Just go that center point. Just repeat it multiple times, and you can create all kinds of triangle designs there. And you can, of course, go over the top of, make very thin ones, maybe keeping a very thick triangle as well. And you can repeat that. Once you've done it, you always just go to View menu and you can clear the guides and get rid of them. Don't need them anymore. And it's on a layer. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a central point. I don't have to have a central point. It's perfectly okay like that. Oops. I'm going to change the color because I left it as blue. Should be, we need is white there in the center. Of course, you don't have to. You could use anything in the center. You could put an object in the center. So just create a white rectangle, pixel mode. You can see layers there. You could use maybe a circle. Don't have to use rectangles, of course. Let's go to the ellipse. So you can create an ellipse. And of course, you don't have to just apply once. You could apply 3 or 4 times to create that central point. You don't need a central point, of course. And if you want a more jagged design in the center, just go to something like the pen tool. It's going to be applied in white. And of course, it's going to be a shape. So you'll have to merge it with the current layer if you want it to be combined. So you can just go around with the pen tool, just add points, and then you've got your more jagged design at the center. Just going to remove that. Okay, so you've got that design there. And of course, you can make it as complex as you would like. Up to you. So you could select both of those layers and then go up to the layer menu and merge them. So you can merge them into one layer. Slightly off screen. There's a merge layer command. Or you could, of course, if you're finished, just flatten the whole thing via the same menu. I'm going to do that. I don't want that design there. I'm just going to go with the very basic design. So what you can also do, of course, it's a layer, so you could create multiple copies of that layer and then apply effects to them and many, many other things. But you can also go to the layer menu and Smart Object and convert it into Smart Object. So you can go now apply effects and distort it in all kinds of ways as well. But you can also go to Edit and Transform and Distort. So you can create a distorted design like that. Press return or cancel. You can also resize it using the bounding box. Make multiple copies of that by holding down the Alt or Option key. rid of the panel now. You can always bring it back if using the window menu to bring up the layers again. You can see now you've got those done. And then you can apply different distortions to each of those to create some very abstract designs and combine them. So again, distort via the edit menu, transform. But you could, of course, use perspective. You could rotate the designs. And you can always overlap them. I mean, at this point, I'm not overlapping anything, but you could overlap the designs as well. And then combine them using blending modes. Of course, what also you could do, you could go to the 3D menu and then turn them into 3D designs. So make them a 3D model. Go to the other one and use distort. But again, I could be using perspective and I can distort that as well. So I can join them all together to create a fairly extreme abstract design there with this dramatic triangular effect. And again, go to the bottom one and do very similar. Edit and distort or perspective or warp. Don't have to keep using distort. And you can obviously cross over the other layers as well. Of course, what you can also do, you can go to the edit menu and define the whole thing as a pattern. Or maybe edit menu and define it as a brush and use it as a brush stroke. So it's quite a dramatic triangular brush effect. Another thing you might want to do, you might look and think, I don't want black and white. I want it to be coloured. So I always find the quickest way to do it, personally, just go with shape and rectangle and just go over the entire design. Maybe set the colour. Of course, you can set the colour later, but I'm setting it now. Set it to, say, blue. Just drag over the entire design. And once you've done that, of course, you could bring up the layers via the window menu. And then you can change the blending mode. Just go there and just go through darken, difference, and so on and so on. You've got your design there. And of course, what you can then do is you can combine them. So you can select both of those and then go to layer menu. Now you could go to layer menu, smart objects, convert them all to smart object, and then it will be a smart object straight away. But you can also just merge them using the merge command. But if you want to convert that back to a smart object, what you need to do is you just go to the layer menu and convert it into a smart object by the smart object menu. Would make more sense that way. Smart object, convert to smart object. And then you can apply effects, smart filters, maybe liquify, oil paint, all those sorts of things. But you can also go to adjustments. And once you do this with these smart objects, of course, you can go to your layers panel and you can always readjust the design at any point. So it's still flexible and still editable at a later point. There you can see you can change the colour to a more garish green and purple. And of course, you could maybe make multiple copies of that design and have different colour effects for each of them. Hope you found this of interest. Please subscribe to the Graphic Extras channel. Always adding new tutorials about Photoshop, Illustrator and many others. Please add a comment or two. Always appreciated. Dislike or like. Thank you much.